GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Mark Beaumont. A toddler survived a terrifying car stroller crash today and police are investigating. Traffic is heavy across the island while the city's summer festivals heat up with Fierté Montreal community days and live drag shows. Emma, what do you make of that?
Rita Baga will perform a live drag show tonight at the Center Cultural, starting at 8 p.m., featuring original costumes and audience interaction.
The performance takes place in the main auditorium of the Center Cultural, with doors opening at 7:30 and tickets priced from $15 to $25.
Rita Baga's show is part of the Fierté Montreal Community Days weekend, alongside performances by Pangina Heels and local musical acts throughout Saturday and Sunday.
Lots to get to, let's begin, as we move into tonight's headlines and stories shaping Montreal, bringing you the latest local updates. Here are our top stories. Police say a vehicle struck a stroller in St. Laurent Thursday evening, killing the driver while a 20-month-old child survived and was rushed to hospital. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Authorities say a car slammed into a stroller on a Thursday evening in St. Laurent, leaving the driver dead while the 20-month-old passenger survived. First responders pulled the infant from the wreckage and rushed the child to hospital, where doctors say the toddler is now stable and recovering. Police have opened a criminal investigation into the collision, treating it as a possible homicide. Neighbors reported hearing a loud crash near the intersection of St. Laurent and a residential street, and by the time officers arrived the scene was already cordoned off. Detectives are combing the area for evidence, and the child's condition continues to be monitored by pediatric specialists. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, St. Laurent. Police are scheduled to intervene this evening at 7 o'clock in the courtyard of Maisonneuve Elementary School in the Hochelaga Maisonneuve neighborhood. 2 patrol cars carrying 5 officers, led by Officer Noam Arbiaoui, will forcefully remove 3 pre-adolescent children who have been playing soccer. Authorities say the activity violated schoolyard rules, prompting the expulsion. The operation will take place as the school day ends, with officers entering the site to halt the game and escort the youngsters off the premises. A small crowd of neighbors stood on the surrounding sidewalks, watching the officers carry out the removal. Parents and staff have been alerted to the presence of law enforcement, though the reason for the crackdown has not been detailed beyond the soccer play. The incident underscores a rare police involvement in a routine schoolyard activity, raising questions about the proportionality of the response.
Residents of the Mercier, Hochelaga Maisonneuve borough are rallying against a city-approved plan to erect an apartment building on Notre Dame Street East that would house former inmates. The neighborhood group says the development threatens the character of the East End community, and more than 100 signatures have already been collected on a petition demanding the project be halted. City officials confirmed the proposal remains under review, while local activists continue to hold meetings and distribute flyers throughout the area. The project, unveiled earlier this year, is promoted by city planners as a step toward reintegrating former inmates into society. The petition was delivered to the Borough Council, adding pressure on the planning committee. City representatives say they will explore alternative sites before any construction begins, and a hearing is scheduled for later this month.
An island nestled between Montreal and Laval is on the market for $50,000, sparking online interest. The listing appeared Friday afternoon, and the waterway location adds unique appeal. Sacha DeSantis has the full story.
The tiny island sitting in the waterway between Montreal and Laval is now listed for sale at $50,000. The property appears on a real estate portal, showing a modest landmass covered in trees and shoreline that can be accessed by boat. Since the listing went live, curiosity seekers have flocked to the online ad, sharing screenshots and comments about owning a private piece of water. No structures are noted on the island, and utilities are absent, making it a blank canvas for anyone willing to invest in transport and development. Interested buyers will need to arrange their own ferry or kayak to reach the spot today. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Laval.
Researchers have confirmed that the severe storm that ripped through Repentigny last Monday was a tornado, marking a rare event for the area north of the island. The twister uprooted dozens of mature trees along major thoroughfares and knocked sections of residential and commercial structures off balance, leaving power lines down and debris scattered across neighborhood streets. Local emergency crews responded throughout the afternoon, securing the scene and assisting residents whose homes sustained roof and wall damage. The National Meteorological Service noted wind speeds consistent with an F1 classification, though the exact rating remains under review. Officials are urging anyone with uninsured losses to document damage for potential assistance, while cleanup efforts continue under a coordinated municipal response. City officials will keep an eye on the neighborhood for any lingering hazards while crews finish clearing debris. Coming up, we'll break down Jean-François Cloutier's Parti Québécois candidacy in Montreal and what it means for local politics. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Journalist Jean-François Cloutier declared today that he will seek the Parti Québécois nomination in the Montreal riding on the South Shore. Cloutier, a veteran reporter for the Journal de Montreal, said his decision reflects a desire to bring a new perspective to provincial politics. The PQ has confirmed his candidacy as part of its effort to rebuild its slate ahead of the forthcoming provincial election. Montreal, traditionally a swing district, will now see a media figure enter the race for the first time. Party officials noted that Cloutier's background in investigative reporting could shape the campaign's focus on transparency and accountability. Voters in the riding will receive the official nomination paperwork in the weeks ahead, setting the stage for a contested contest as parties finalize their tickets. Cloutier said his platform will focus on development and French language rights, echoing the party. The PQ will regain ground despite setbacks.
The SDM says the Green Line will run exclusively with Mr. 73 subway cars beginning in 2031, replacing newer trains. This shift is slated for that year. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Starting in 2030, when the Green Line will run solely with the Mr. 73 subway cars, the SDM confirmed today. Those units, first introduced in the late 70s, will replace the newer wagons that have been serving the line for the past decade. The agency noted the older fleet is roughly 11 times less reliable than the modern stock, a factor they say will be mitigated by increased maintenance and spare part inventories. Officials explained the switch is part of a broader plan to extend the lifespan of the Mr. 73 series across the network, while new equipment is allocated to other routes. The change will affect all stations along the Green Corridor, from the western terminus to the eastern end. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Plateau.
The province's premier announced today that U.S. alcoholic beverages will remain barred from Quebec's government-run liquor stores. The statement comes amid reports that the federal government is preparing to relax Canada's nationwide ban on American alcohol imports. While Ottawa is reportedly reviewing the policy at the federal level, the premier emphasized that the final decision lies with Quebec's own authorities. She noted that the province will continue to enforce the existing restrictions until any changes are formally adopted by Quebec regulators. U.S. trade officials have been urging greater market access, but the premier said the province must weigh consumer protection and market fairness before any shift. Consumers in the province can expect the current selection to stay unchanged, and retailers will not see new U.S. labels on shelves this season. The announcement underscores provincial autonomy in regulating liquor sales despite broader national discussions.
Researchers are intensively tracking a contagious cancer that has decimated brown bullhead catfish in Quebec to see if it has crossed into New Brunswick waters. The disease, first identified in Quebec's rivers, spreads from fish to fish and threatens local ecosystems. Lead scientist Scott Young, a seasoned fisherman with a 40-year career on the province's lakes, reports a rise in spotted abnormal fish in several New Brunswick rivers. His observations have prompted a joint effort by provincial wildlife agencies and university labs to sample lakes and rivers across the province. Early testing will focus on genetic markers of the tumor to confirm any presence. Officials say confirming spread beyond Quebec is crucial for shaping management strategies and protecting both commercial and recreational fisheries. The monitoring program, funded by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, will run through the fall, with updates to be shared with angling clubs and environmental groups.
Quebec emergency rooms remain overburdened this summer, with the Association des Médecins d'Urgence du Québec reporting rising workloads and physicians lacking relief, says Dr. Marie-Maude Couture. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Emergency departments across the province are reporting record patient volumes this summer, according to the Association of Emergency Physicians of Quebec. Dr. Marie-Maude Couture says the workload has climbed steadily over recent years, leaving staff without the usual seasonal respite. While historically the warm months bring a dip in admissions, this year hospitals are still grappling with crowded waiting rooms and stretched resources. Physicians report longer shifts, fewer breaks, and an inability to clear backlogs before the autumn rush. The sustained pressure is forcing teams to adapt on the fly, with some units converting observation spaces into full-time treatment areas. The situation remains a challenge for staff and patients alike. Hospital administrators are monitoring the trend closely. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Quebec City.
Let's check tonight's outlook with our weather team and see what the sky has in store.
A weakening ridge and a southwest jet stream are injecting warm, unsettled air into the Montreal basin. On this date, Montreal's all-time heat record stands at 32.5 degrees, set during the 2022 southern heat wave that pushed the province into a prolonged warm spell. The cold record is 12 degrees, recorded in the 2015 Arctic blast that surprised a typically mild August. By contrast, the climate normal for early August hovers around 22 degrees, with average lows near 19. Those benchmarks remind us how today's moderate 27 sits between an historic high and a rare low. The live radar shows a clean swath of clear air over the province, with no echoes across the St. Lawrence corridor. The lack of precipitation reflects the high pressure capping the region, while the fast southwest jet aloft is steering any moisture well north of us. With the atmosphere stable, the calm will persist through the evening, and the next rain band won't arrive for at least 12 hours. Turning now to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 27 degrees, humidity 58%, and a light southwest breeze of 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average, but easing lower, signaling a gradual shift toward a more unsettled pattern as the day progresses. Overhead, the jet stream races at 118 kilometers per hour from the southwest, acting like a conveyor belt that will draw in cooler air later tonight. Tonight's low will drop to 22 degrees, and the sunset will clip the sky at 8:14. The UV index reads 5, and wind remains modest, never exceeding 25 kilometers per hour. No weather alerts are active. With the jet stream poised to nudge a weak trough through early tomorrow, we now glance at the 5-day outlook. Saturday brings an overcast day with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 21, as the lingering trough keeps clouds in place. Sunday clears dramatically, offering a bright sky and a high of 26 degrees, while overnight lows settle near 20. Monday reintroduces cloud cover and a 35% chance of rain. Temperatures will hover around 27 with a low of 20, reflecting the modest lift from the jet stream. Tuesday returns to clear conditions, 26 degrees at peak and a cool 18 at night, as the ridge strengthens. Wednesday caps the stretch with another clear spell, high 25 and low 18, as the atmosphere remains stable. The pattern shows a modest temperature swing of about 5 degrees between the warmest and coolest days and a brief rain window midweek. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heavy traffic slows our streets, Good Food's latest moves hit the headlines, and the Canadians' top 25 under 25 story. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Major closures are grinding traffic across the island. Rue Wellington is shut between Rue des Soeurs Grises and Rue Prince, forcing downtown drivers onto Rue St. Laurent and the Ville Marie Tunnel. To the west, Chemin du Golf in Verdun is closed at William Paul, diverting commuters onto Boulevard La Salle and the Daiquiri Expressway. On the northwest side, Avenue Burret is blocked between Rue Lemia and Avenue Victoria, pushing traffic onto Côte Saint Lucian and the Daiquiri. A moderate obstruction remains on Rue University between Milton and Prince Arthur, adding slowdowns near the university campus. Water service work is also affecting Rue Dufresne, Rue Fulham, Rue Magnan and Avenue Lalande in the Ville Marie Cour, plus Avenue Burret and Rue Lemia, so expect lane reductions and occasional stop and go. All other arterial routes are moving freely and transit runs on schedule. If you're heading east on the Daiquiri this afternoon, allow extra 10 minutes for the diversions.
Fierté Montreal's community days are in full swing today at the Village on Rue Sainte-Catherine-Est, where families and friends can dive into free workshops, performances, and pop-up markets that celebrate our city's vibrant queer spirit. Over at the Esplanade du Parc Olympique, the Scene TD stage hosts a marathon of live drag shows. Tonight you'll see Rita Baga, Pangina Heels, Georges Barbata, and Velma Jones delivering comedy, dance, and couture that turn the park into a runway of rebellion. Just steps away, the outdoor installation Pride has its flags waves bright banners across the Esplanade, a visual reminder of love and visibility that stays up all weekend. Looking ahead, the Pride Parade will thunder through downtown streets on Sunday, and tomorrow night Lady Bunny and Monib will take the stage, followed by Sydney Sarajevo on Tuesday, promising even more sparkle as the celebrations wrap up. And now here's Jason with sports.
Habs prospects take center stage as the latest under-25 rankings reveal new challenges. The near-misses list highlights 9 Canadians prospects who have each earned an NHL game. With 6 graduates already on the roster, the talent pool feels thinner, leaving a blend of skaters with flashes of NHL skill and a few unproven goalies. It shows depth but a clear need for development. If general manager Kent Hughes wants to speed the rebuild, the Habs have a short list. Unrestricted free agent Patrick Lane offers top-line scoring without a massive cap hit, while Cole Caulfield's 9th place ranking among NHL wingers underscores his upside. Meanwhile, Noah Dobson welcomes a new baby, adding a personal milestone to the roster. The long shots segment of the Habs, under 25 ranking highlights players on the fringe of NHL consideration. Fresh additions and breakout seasons have nudged a few names upward, yet voters deliberately slot others at the bottom to narrow the debate, signaling which prospects may need extra development time before earning a roster spot. Alex Newhook heads to Newfoundland for his 3rd annual golf classic as the conversation around Alexander Carrier's role heats up. A look back at the Jonathan Drouin trade highlights past missteps, while LJ Mooney and Timofey Runso's WJSS showings add optimism. The Habs earn modest off-season grades in the Atlantic Division. Reflecting on the 2024-25 surprise playoff push, the Habs clinched a berth on the final day after a late season surge. An early season soft schedule built a cushion that mitigated November goaltending woes, and the team's ability to rebound bodes well for integrating this year's graduate prospects and newcomers into a more resilient roster. The Habs add defenseman Maximilian Schubert to the organization, while prospect Alexander Zhuravsky voices gratitude for his development in Montreal. Off the ice, Noah Dobson celebrates the arrival of a baby girl, and Aaron Ambrose backs Daniel Sauvageau's leadership of Hockey Canada. Across the league, the Leafs appoint Andy O'Brien as Vice President of Sport Performance.
Good Food, the downtown Ville Marie-based meal kit company, has entered creditor protection as it restructures its finances. Founded here in Montreal, Good Food delivers fresh, pre-portioned ingredients to households across the province, supporting a network of local farmers, fishmongers, and artisans. After a CEO stepped down after less than 6 months, the board chose a protection plan that will give the business room to renegotiate contracts and preserve jobs. For the neighborhood, that means dozens of delivery drivers and kitchen staff can stay on the streets they know, and the thousands of suppliers who rely on weekly orders may see a lifeline. Good Food shows how local innovation can keep Montreal's culinary pulse beating, even when the market gets tough. Up next, Quebec says no e-scooter rules, and opposition slams a 230% health IT cost jump.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Quebec officials say they will not add new regulations for electric scooters, even as health professionals note a surge in serious injuries among child riders across the province. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Provincial officials announced Thursday they will not add any new regulations to electric scooters, even as doctors and emergency workers warn of a growing number of serious injuries among children. Health professionals said clinics across the province are seeing more youngsters arrive with broken bones, head trauma, and severe lacerations after scooter accidents. The decision comes after months of debate sparked by the rapid spread of shared and private scooters in neighborhoods and on busy streets. Critics argue that without tighter speed limits, helmet requirements, or designated riding zones, the risk to young riders will keep climbing. The government says existing rules are sufficient for now. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec opposition parties accuse the CAQ of a 230% cost surge in the Santé Quebec Health IT overhaul, warning of mismanagement in the province's digital transformation. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
The opposition is blasting the CAQ after a health system digital overhaul led by Santé Quebec swelled to a cost that is now 230% higher than the original estimate. Critics say the governing party pushed ahead with the project despite the soaring budget, calling the rise a clear sign of mismanagement. Santé Quebec, tasked with modernizing the province's health information network, has seen the financial gap widen dramatically, prompting opposition leaders to demand a full accounting of how the funds were allocated. The backlash comes as the CAQ continues to defend the initiative, insisting the investment is essential for long-term efficiency in Quebec's health services. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Today's remarkable story of a toddler who survived a car stroller crash reminded us of our community's resilience. I'm Mark Beaumont, and we'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Stay safe and see you then.